If you haven't already, you may want to check out my previous video recipe on how to brine a turkey. I will leave a link in the iCard above and in the Show More section below. And just a reminder that you'll be able to find this recipe, the list of ingredients, and much more in the Show More section below. I've also included links to where you can purchase online some of the ingredients and equipment that I use in this video recipe. If you have a chance, please check it out. I'm starting by patting the turkey dry, seasoning the inside cavity with some salt and pepper. Now I'm stuffing the turkey cavity with a mixture of onions, celery, lemons, garlic cloves, apples, and sprigs of herbs. These herbs are from my garden and are a mixture of sage, parsley, and thyme. You can use whatever herbs that you like. Just fit the veggies and herbs in there as best you can. You want the breast of the turkey to stand up. Having the turkey cavity full will help cook the bird evenly. For the rub, I'm using a stick of room temp unsalted butter and some extra virgin olive oil, and this combination will make the skin crispy and make it a nice golden brown. Adding some salt, black pepper, poultry seasoning, and some savory. You can use whatever seasonings or herbs that you like. Also giving this a squeeze of lemon. Mixing and creaming well with a fork until all combined. I gently separate the skin from the turkey by rubbing my hand between the layer of skin. Be careful not to poke or puncture the skin as best you can. And if it happens, don't worry about it. You may need to break some membranes to get the skin fully separated. And don't forget the sides and legs. Just get as much as you can. Take half of the seasoned butter and rub between the skin and the turkey. Get evenly coated as much as you can, and again, don't forget the legs. Rub the other half of the seasoned butter all over the entire outside of the turkey. Get the turkey well evenly coated. This will add lots of flavor to the turkey and form a beautiful crispy golden exterior. I did sneak a couple whole sage leaves under the breast skin for decoration. I'm placing the remaining vegetables on the bottom of the roaster so the turkey will set up off the bottom. Placing the turkey on top, tucking the wings under the turkey, and binding the legs with string. Keeping the legs and wings close to the body and stuffing the cavity will help cook the turkey more evenly and thoroughly. Adding about a cup of water to the bottom, and I may need to add more as the turkey is roasting. Roasting at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until done. Internal temp of the turkey should be at 165 degrees Fahrenheit at the thickest part of the breast. My 16.5-pound turkey took about 3 hours to cook. And a couple more tips. Rotate the turkey 180 degrees at halfway so it cooks evenly. If you notice the skin is getting too brown during baking, you can tempt the turkey lightly with a piece of foil. After removing from the oven, let the turkey rest for about a half an hour or up to an hour before carving. I know the waiting is the hard part. The resting time gives the juices inside the turkey time to level out and redistribute before carving. Remove the aromatics from the turkey cavity, take off the leg strings, and plate for the table. Remember to save all the juices on the bottom and strain the broth so you can make some turkey gravy. If you like this roasted turkey recipe, please hit the like and subscribe button. Remember to hit the bell next to the subscribe to make sure that you get my future video recipes. Today I'm making Thanksgiving dinner with Southern smothered turkey wings. They are so juicy and tender. To me, Thanksgiving dinner is all about the turkey, mashed potatoes, gravy, and stuffing, and that's exactly what we are making today. Hopefully, I can give you some ideas of what you can make for Thanksgiving. So let's get started. For the turkey wing seasoning, I have 1 teaspoon each of celery salt, white pepper, paprika, garlic powder, onion powder, poultry seasoning, thyme, rosemary, and a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, giving that a good mix. I have 3 turkey wings that I cleaned and I'm patting dry with a paper towel. I'm pouring over 2 tablespoons of olive oil and rubbing the wings thoroughly, and this is for the seasonings to stick to the wings. I'm saving 1 to 2 teaspoons of the seasonings for the gravy and pouring the rest on both sides of the wings. In my 9x13 baking dish, I have 1 cup each of onions, celery, and carrots. I diced them small because these will be going into the stuffing. For now, they are a bed for the turkey wings to set. The veggies and wings are going to produce some juice while they cook, and this we will be using for the gravy. To help flavor the broth, I'm adding in a slice of lemon and a tablespoon of butter for each wing. Placing the seasoned turkey wings right on top, covering with foil and baking at 375 degrees for 1 hour and 15 minutes, and then I will show you the next step. Now I'm removing the wings and the veggies from the baking dish. You can see we have some broth on the bottom. Next, I'm making the gravy for the turkey wings. In a pan on medium heat, I'm adding 4 tablespoons of butter and melting. This is 4 tablespoons of flour and about a teaspoon of the leftover seasonings. Adding the flour to the butter and whisking until incorporated, and then I'm cooking an additional minute. I'm gradually adding in the broth and whisking until the gravy thickens, and it took about 3 cups for me. And don't forget to add in the turkey drippings. Giving that a good whisk, bringing to a low simmer, and tasting for any seasonings. I also like to add in some gravy bouquet, and here I'm adding in a little at a time, and overall I used about a half a teaspoon. Let the gravy simmer for a minute and remove from the heat. Now I'm pouring this yummy gravy over the turkey wings. These are going back into the oven uncovered for another 30 to 40 minutes or until the wings are fall apart tender. I pull the wings out about halfway through the cooking and spoon over the gravy to make sure they are smothered. At this point, I'm getting my potatoes cooking, and I'm also putting together the stuffing so I can get it in the oven. I'm making a semi-homemade stuffing, which means I'm cheating a little bit. I'm using 2 packages of turkey stuffing, and you can use the brand and flavor that you like. I'm adding in 1 teaspoon of parsley and half a teaspoon of thyme, 3 chopped greens of garden onions, and here I'm adding 2 diced apples, and I'm using Granny Smith today, 4 tablespoons of melted butter, and 2½ cups of turkey broth. And here I'm using homemade, but if you're using store-bought, just be conscious of the sodium content, because we already know that our packaged turkey stuffing has lots of sodium. Giving that a mix, and then I'm adding my cooked veggies. 1 more mix to get incorporated. Placing the stuffing in a greased baking dish. I'm baking at 375 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes or until the top is golden brown. If it starts to get too brown, you can place a piece of foil on top. We are coming down to the home stretch. Next, I'm mashing the potatoes. I used gold potatoes, seasoned with a little salt and black pepper, added 3 tablespoons of butter, and I'm gradually adding the warm milk until fluffy. I like the mashed potatoes to have a couple little chunks in there so everyone knows they're homemade. And we're almost done. While everything is coming together at the end, I decided to make a batch of corn muffins. Yep, right out of the box. I also heated some green beans. And this is our Thanksgiving smothered turkey wing dinner. pouring over some of that lovely turkey gravy. The stuffing really turned out good, and the apples and veggies toned down the saltiness and gave it a wonderful flavor. The turkey wings were juicy and so tender and flavorful. I hope I have given you some ideas for Thanksgiving dinner, and from my family to your family, Happy Thanksgiving! A good and flavorful gravy starts with a good meat stock or broth. I saved the turkey neck bone, trimmings, and giblets, and I'm placing them in my slow cooker along with some vegetables. My turkey is brining overnight, and I'm running my slow cooker to make some broth at the same time. I'm starting by adding 4 cups of chicken broth to the slow cooker. In goes my turkey bones, trimmings, and giblets. And just a reminder that you'll be able to find this recipe, the list of ingredients, and much more in the Show More section below. I have included links to where you can purchase online some of the ingredients and equipment that I use in this video recipe. If you have a chance, please check it out. Now I'm putting in the vegetables or the aromatics, and I'm using a mixture of onions, carrots, and celery. No need to skin the onion, and I'm also using the tops of the celery as they add a lot of flavor. A little salt and black pepper. I'm not adding much salt as I like to add the salt when I'm cooking with the broth. I'm filling the crock pot with water, cooking on low for 8 hours or on high for 4 hours. This is one way to make a flavorful broth for the gravy. A couple video recipes in my Thanksgiving series was how to brine a turkey and how to roast a turkey. If you haven't already seen those video recipes, please take a moment to watch. This is the bottom of my roaster after I took out the turkey. There is lots of flavor in that broth. You can see I had some aromatics with the turkey roasting on top. I'm going to take out all the veggies and strain the broth. This will also make a nice broth for a flavorful and delicious gravy. If you have a grease separator, this broth is ready to make the gravy. I'm not ready to make the gravy, so I refrigerated the broth. You can see the fat floated to the top and it skimmed off easily. The rich turkey broth has become jelly-like and it looks good. I'm saving the turkey fat to show you one way to make the turkey gravy. There are 2 ways you can make a gravy. You can make a slurry to thicken the gravy, or you can make a roux. The first way I'm showing you is the slurry method. Each recipe calls for 4 cups of turkey broth, so if you don't have enough, you can add water or some chicken or vegetable broth. You gotta have lots of gravy at the table. In a bowl, I'm adding 1 cup of cold water and 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, giving that a good mix. You can use cornstarch for this slurry, but I prefer the flour. Bringing my broth up to a boil, giving my slurry a good mix and pouring in. Stirring and you will already start to see the gravy thicken. Bringing up to a boil and turning down to a low simmer. I'm going to let this simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. The liquid will reduce a little, concentrating all those wonderful flavors, and the gravy will thicken. Remember to taste for seasonings along the way. After the gravy is done, removing from the heat and letting it rest for 15 minutes before serving. The second way of making gravy is with a roux. My roux, I'm using the turkey fat, but you can use butter. I have my heat on medium. In goes my flour, cooking and stirring for a couple minutes. I'm turning my heat up to high and slowly adding in my turkey broth. Stirring and you will see the gravy start to thicken. Once all the broth is in there and the gravy is at a boil, I'm turning my heat to low and simmering for about 15 minutes. Check for any seasonings and add salt and pepper to taste. This time I'm going to add some of the kitchen bouquet for a little color. Again, the flavor will concentrate and the gravy will thicken nicely. After done, remove from the heat and let it cool for 10 to 15 minutes before serving. The gravy has a nice, rich turkey flavor and is nice and creamy. A great addition to the holiday table. I hope you give this easy turkey gravy a try and enjoy. If you like this turkey gravy recipe, please hit the like and subscribe button. Remember to hit the bell next to the subscribe to make sure that you get my future video recipes. You can also find me on Facebook and at my website. Feel free to share this recipe and my channel with your friends and family. And until next time, much love.